world where shadows linger just beyond the edges of the everyday, one podcast dares to open the cabinet of the unknown. The Shadow Frequency invites you into a realm of cryptids, conspiracies, hauntings, and mysteries that refuse to stay buried. Each episode, host Matt Wilson and producer Juniper Ravenwood sift through the eerie files of the unexplained, uncovering chilling encounters, listener stories, and whispers from the dark. Step closer, if you dare, and tune in to the Shadow Frequency.
This thing does not want to cooperate tonight. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Phew. Huh? What's this? Oh, wow, Matt. Did you know Edgar Cayce had a cookbook? This thing's got mystic meatloaf and clairvoyant cornbread.
Clairvoyant cornbread? That's the one that predicts whether it's going to rise?
Exactly. I might try this psychic sweet potato pie, though. Could be dangerous.
You better put that back before we start channeling dinner ghosts.
All right, let's see if we can find tonight's episode. Here we go. Episode 207, Mind War, Shadows Shape Your Thoughts.
Yeah, this one's going to get under your skin. From Cold War propaganda to today's algorithm-driven feeds, we're talking about how media can literally rewire your brain.
And we've got declassified programs, subliminal messages, and maybe a few mass hysteria events to dig into. Buckle
up. This one might make you question every thought you've ever had. Let's get into it.
You're tuned to the Shadow Frequency, where the veil between the living and the unknown grows thin. Strange whispers, hidden truths, and things best left in the dark await. Hosted by Matt Wilson, produced by Juniper Ravenwood, featuring Chris Beach. Let's step in to the shadows.
Good evening, listeners, and welcome to the Shadow Frequency, where the air hums with secrets and the truth hides just beyond the static. Tonight, we're peeling back the veil on something so insidious, so woven into the fabric of your everyday life, you might not even notice it's there. It's the silent war for your mind, media brainwashing. From flickering screens to algorithm-driven feeds, are the thoughts in your head truly yours? Or are they echoes of a carefully crafted narrative planted deep by unseen hands? MK Ultra, Operation Mockingbird, subliminal whispers in the dark? Tonight we ask, what's real and what's been programmed? Matt, are you ready to dive into this shadow war?
Oh, Juniper, you've got my paranoia dialed up to 11 already. Let's see what kind of psychic shrapnel we're dodging tonight.
Buckle up, listeners. Matt's got the controls, and we're heading straight into the fog. Take it away, Matt.
Thanks, Juniper, for digging into the dusty file cabinet of the unknown to unearth tonight's case. This one's a doozy, listeners. Picture this, a world where the news you watch, the shows you binge, even the ads that flash across your phone aren't just entertainment, they're weapons. Tools designed to slip past your defenses, to mold your thoughts like clay in the hands of a shadow sculptor. Welcome to Mind Over Media, the Shadow War for your thoughts. Let's open the file. It's 1947, the dawn of the Cold War. Governments on both sides of the Iron Curtain are obsessed with control, not just of land, but of minds. The CIA launches Project MK Ultra, a covert operation so dark it sounds like something out of a horror novel. They experiment with LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, all to crack open the human psyche and rewrite it. Official documents, declassified decades later, describe subjects who forgot their own names, who saw visions of shadow figures whispering commands. Some claim they heard voices long after the experiments ended, voices that weren't their own. Fast forward to the 1970s. Operation Mockingbird surfaces, another CIA program alleged to have infiltrated newsrooms, planning stories to sway public opinion. Reporters, editors, even TV anchors unknowingly or knowingly pushing narratives fed to them by spooks in suits. The goal? To make you believe what they want you to believe, without you ever suspecting a thing. But here's where it gets weirder. Let's talk about subliminal messaging. In 1957, a market researcher named James Vickery claimed he'd flash phrases like "drink Coca-Cola" on a movie screen for fractions of a second. Too fast to consciously notice, but enough to spike sales. He later admitted it was a hoax, or was it? Declassified documents from the 1980s show the U.S. government was studying subliminals for psychological warfare. There are accounts of TV broadcasts in small towns where viewers reported sudden, inexplicable urges to buy products or even vote for candidates they didn't like. And then there's the modern era. Algorithms, social media. Your phone knows you better than you know yourself. You ever notice how your feed seems to push certain ideas, certain fears? In 2016, a strange phenomenon hit a small Ohio town. Locals started reporting vivid, identical nightmares. Shadowy figures standing over their beds, whispering about elections and wars. No one could explain it, but researchers later found the town had been targeted by hyper-specific social media ads, laced with cryptic images and audio frequencies just below human hearing. Coincidence? Or something more sinister? There are stories of mass hysteria tied to media, like the 1938 War of the Worlds broadcast that sent thousands into a panic believing Martians were invading. But what if it wasn't just panic? What if something in that broadcast triggered a deeper primal response, something programmed into us by those who control the airwaves? Listeners, as you sit there scrolling your phone, watching the news, are you sure your thoughts in your head are yours? Or are you caught in a web spun by unseen hands guiding you toward a truth you didn't choose? That's the thing about shadows, listeners. They don't need to shout to control you. They just need you to keep watching. Juniper, what's crawling under your skin right now?
Matt, I'm starting to wonder if my Netflix queue is trying to tell me something, or someone. Let's take a quick break before I start unplugging everything in my house.
Fair enough. Over to you, Juniper.
Wow, listeners, I hope you're clutching your headphones tight after that one. Matt's got us questioning every screen we've ever looked at, and I'm not sure I'm ready for what's coming next. Are you sitting there wondering if your thoughts are your own? I know I am. We'll dive back into the shadows in just a moment, but first, let's hear from our friend Chris Beach with a quick word.
Sure, Juniper. Quick reminder, folks. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow the Shadow Frequency on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and any podcast app you use. Our home base is shadowfrequencypodcast.com. You can stream every episode there, read our new Shadow blog posts, grab some paranormal merch, and even drop us a voicemail. Let us know where you're listening from, and we just might play it on an upcoming show. And if you're enjoying what we do and want to help out, consider buying us a coffee. We truly appreciate the support. Back over to Juniper.
Thanks a lot, Chris. All right, listeners, it's time to crank up the spectral cosmic message materializer. Sparks flying, dials spinning. Let's see what eerie transmissions it pulls from the void. Oh look, a ghostly note flickering in the static.
Message retrieved from the void.
All right, let's crack it open and hear what one of you shadowy listeners has to say. Here's a message from across the pond, listeners. It's from Oliver Barnes in York, England. Says, "Hi, Matt and Juniper. My name's Oliver Barnes, writing in from York, England. I stumbled upon the Shadow Frequency a few months ago, and I've been hooked ever since. I usually listen on Spotify during my early morning train rides into Leeds for work. There's something about watching the countryside roll by while hearing you two dig into cryptids and conspiracies that makes the trip way more interesting. My favorite episodes are the ones about haunted locations, and I can't wait for more deep dives into UFO lore. Keep up the spooky work. You've definitely got a loyal listener across the pond. Cheers, Oliver from York. Oliver, mate, you're out there riding trains through the mystic English countryside listening to us unravel the unknown? That's the kind of vibe we line at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. Or you can also, like Chris said earlier, leave us a voicemail on the site as well. Matt, back to you for the second half of this mind-bending case.
Thanks, Juniper, and cheers to Oliver for tuning in from the foggy moors of England. Let's dive back into the shadows, listeners, because this war for your thoughts is far from over. We left off with the chilling idea that media, whether it's a 1950s TV ad or your 2025 social media feed, might be more than it seems. Let's go deeper. Picture this, a 1980s experiment in a classified facility. Subjects are shown a series of TV commercials, but buried in the frames are images of eyes, clocks, and strange symbols, flashing too fast to consciously register. Days later, the subjects report vivid dreams of being watched, of clocks ticking backward. One woman swore she saw a figure in her room at night, mouthing words she couldn't hear. Declassified MKUltra files confirm tests like these happened, though the results were, conveniently, never fully disclosed. Were they planting ideas? Or something worse? Then there's the internet age. Algorithms aren't just showing you cat videos, they're curating your reality. In 2020, a group of researchers noticed something odd. People exposed to certain news feeds started reporting identical intrusive thoughts, like sudden fears of specific global events. One whistleblower from a tech giant claimed their platform was testing emotional resonance frequencies, low-level audio embedded in videos that could trigger anxiety or compliance. The whistleblower vanished shortly after. Coincidence? Maybe. Now, hold on, listeners. Let's pause for a second. Could some of this be overblown? I mean, not every ad is a mind control plot, right? Sometimes a Coca-Cola commercial is just a commercial. Psychologists argue that our brains are wired to see patterns to connect dots that might not be there. The Ohio nightmare case? Could have been mass hysteria fueled by stress, not secret frequencies. But even if 99% of this is coincidence, that 1%, that sliver of truth, keeps me up at night. Let's talk about a real case that still haunts me. In 1997, a Japanese TV show called Pokemon aired an episode with rapid flashing red and blue lights. Hundreds of kids watching it had seizures, but some reported something stranger. Visions of a shadowy figure in the static, whispering their name. The episode was pulled, and the official story blamed strobe effects. But leaked production notes mentioned an unauthorized edit to the episode, a frame nobody could account for. Was it a glitch or a test? As we sit here in 2025, our screens are more powerful than ever. Your phone tracks your heartbeat, your mood, your every click. What if it's not just watching you? What if it's guiding you? There are stories whispered on obscure forums of people who saw ads that seemed to know their deepest secrets, ads that shouldn't exist. One user claimed their TV played a commercial with their own face mouthing words they'd said in private. Glitch? Or proof that the shadow war for your thoughts is still raging? This case doesn't wrap up neatly, listeners. It's a question mark that lingers like a cold fog. Are we free thinkers, or are we puppets dancing to a tune we can't even hear? And I do have to add one little bit of personal commentary. If you've paid attention at all to major news outlets over the last, say, 10 years or so, has it not occurred to you that they all lean one direction? Next time you scroll your feed, pause, ask yourself, who's really in control? The shadows are watching, listeners, and they're patient. Juniper, you holding up over there?
Matt, I'm about to tape over my webcam and live in a cave. That Pokemon story, way too creepy.
Don't blame you. Over to you, Juniper, before we all start hearing whispers in the static.
Well, listeners, that was a wild ride through the shadows of our minds. From MK Ultra to flickering screens, Matt's got us questioning every thought we've ever had. Thanks for joining us on episode 207 of The Shadow Frequency. Hope you're still brave enough to turn on your TV tonight. Want to share your own creepy stories or thoughts on this mind-warping topic? Shoot us an email at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com or find us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Rumble, or wherever you get your podcasts. Check out more spooky goodness as well at shadowfrequencypodcast.com. Join us next time for another deep dive into the unknown. Matt, you want to say goodnight?
Sleep tight, listeners, and watch those screens.
Phew. Good night, everyone. Stay curious and stay awake.
This episode was produced with a commitment to exploring the unexplained while grounding our discussion in documented discoveries. All interpretations are speculative and intended for entertainment purposes.